It's always something. Always something. Testing, testing. Okay. So all the audio's working, but I'm not seeing anything on the screen. Oh boy. There we go. Okay. I think we're actually working. Excellent. So we should have audio going. We have picture. Okay. Starting just a couple minutes early. Not because I'm actually starting, but rather because I'm just trying to get all the pieces to work. For those of you in the know, whoever live streamed, I'm sure you understand the pains and perils of getting used to live streaming, and I'm still getting my feet wet here. Hey RJ, good to see you. Hopefully the lag between the screen and the conversation is a bit less. We'll see if it works though. It cut off your chat. Doesn't do any good. Let's see if this works. There we go. Let me move this in. I assume you're doing great with your wet feet. Thank you. And you're able to see the screen okay? Hopefully we don't have the 5-second lag anymore. I thought I would cut it down. I'll assume so. Still got a couple more minutes till the official start. But, just a brief introduction to Tinker's Construct is, like I said, I didn't know much about this going in. Yeah, things look and sound clear. Good. I didn't know much about Tinker's Construct until I started researching for this, right? I mean, I had looked at it very, very briefly when I was putting together my my Let's Play worlds, but at that time, oh, good. If you're an expert, then maybe you'll be able to help with this. But at the time, it wasn't available for 120.1, so that's why I didn't include it and get to know it. But since then, it has now come out for 120.1, so that's what we'll be playing today. Now, one of the things about Tinker's Construct is it's pretty ancient. It's been around for many, many years, and it has come in many different configurations and flavors. And this leads to some complications because when you're out there trying to find information about it, first of all, that information is going to be somewhat dated, right? It's going to be based off of whatever version was available at that time. And things have come and gone since then. And it is a really complex mod. So I found that what documentation is available out there is, yeah. And there, it is, it's spotty. Right, the documentation out there is spotty. Now, I'm in the game now, and what we have here is we have the books that come in game, and I think the guys and girls and whoever are at Tinker's Construct are aware of this, so they've kind of gone out of the way to write these books to try to give you a pretty comprehensive starting point from which to work. And that's kind of what we're going to step through today. But then we'll just see how it goes. This is an audience participation effort. So if the audience participates, then we can certainly get derailed. I'm all for that. Like we did last time, we learned some pretty cool stuff about the create mod. So we'll take a shot at that. But now we are officially into the let's start mode. So using the first book, right, that's called Materials and You. And if you open it, it basically, I'm way too far in this thing. Whoops, too far. Basically, it's going to go through and explain to you what this book is. And this is really the book you should start with. Apparently, you start with this book when you first enter Tinker's Construct. But if you wind up killing it for some reason, you can make another one by pretty easily. Oops. By a book and a pattern. And the pattern is super easy to make. It's basically the first thing you're going to make in Tinker's Construct, so you can make it on day one, right? A couple blocks of planks and a couple sticks. So what the book says, the good book, is basically you're going to need to start with those patterns, right? And that's easy enough. So we can go here. I'm going to cheat in that regard and use JEI. Actually, I can keep this here and do 48 pages though. So there we go. Let's grab a stack of those. There we go. Well, there we go. So, going back to the book, it says you need as many patterns as you create tools, both to create tools and parts and work tables. Now, let me take a step back and explain these games. So great, and the crafting station handy. Yeah. If you're unfamiliar with Tinker's Construct, right? It's not like an automation mod or like Create or a bunch of content or anything like that. This is a mod about tools, weapons, and armor. For the most part, there's some little bits around that, but this is all about tweaking and crafting the stuff that you use to do everything else in the game. And this is important because this is not a simple point and click mod. If you're into like for example, the Let's Do series, it's pretty simple. It adds a little complexity to things like, making wine or whatever, but it's still fairly simple. This isn't that. This is for people who thrive on complexity. And the point of that complexity is to offer an incredible amount of flexibility, right? So as you'll see as we get into this, when it comes to making different weapons, tools, armor, whatever, you can tweak these however you want to get exactly the combination of traits that you need or want. Now, I mean, if you're playing survival, you're going to be limited by what materials are available to you. But in the end, there are literally thousands, probably millions of possible combinations here. And that's incredibly powerful, or it can be. It can also be incredibly overwhelming, as you'll see, right? But yeah, the ease of getting in TC early is great, and the crafting station handy. So that's what this book actually kind of walks you through, right? So you get your patterns, and with the patterns and a couple planks, we're going to make the first tool, which is workstation, which is the part builder, right? So we can go. I'm going to cheat to get my part builder though. Here, and let's pop that puppy down right here. So that's the part builder. And what does the good book say about that? Here you go. Here's your part builder. This is where you put patterns. Here's where you put materials, right? And it even gives you some instructions here. Here you can craft tool parts to fill your tinkering fantasies. Craft a part, simply put blank pattern into the slot and select the part you want, and the remaining slot holds the material you want to craft your part out of. It is complex way, but it's fairly easy to actually, well, yes, you don't need complex machines and 17 tools to make it work. However, right, I mean, the basic workstations are pretty straightforward. Once you know how to use those, and quite frankly, you can make them pretty much from the very beginning of the game. So that's all good. Where it gets tricky is the materials, right? Because later there will be all sorts of different materials you'll want to use that come with the mod that require different types of smelting and stuff. And that's what these other books are, right? They kind of walk you through getting all those different bits and pieces in place to give you those uber materials, which will then give you uber results. But to RJ's point, up front, the basic set of tools is readily available, and once you learn how to use those, you've got the basics, right? After that, it's all a matter of how many cool toys you want to play with. Yes, and we'll get to that in a second. So that's this piece, and the book says to make a part, simply grab a blank stencil, right? Or it's interesting they said, a blank stencil, because they were calling them patterns a minute ago. So it's a blank pattern, really. Put it in the stencil slot or the pattern slot. Select what tool part you are waiting to make. Insert a soft material you can shape with your hands and grab your part. Okay, so to put that into action, if we open this up and I say, thing is, it takes away my JEI window. I do that. So let me give me some wood. And let's do this. So we put our pattern here, and here's the different patterns that are available to us. It's quite a few. And let's say like pickaxe head, right? So pattern cost 2. Here you can craft tool parts with, okay. And we're going to make this out of, what is this? Is this a jungle? Okay. And there we go. I need 2. There we go. And you can see that basically now it's going to allow me to construct this jungle wood pick head. And it specifically has given you information on the properties of that pick head, right? So we don't see anything particularly interesting or a bonus as far as durability or melee damage. But cultivated, right? Tool practically grows more material when repairing. The pattern with the tool part in it, the things in the center of the UI are called stencils. They are called stencils. Okay. So head, the durability 60, it's made of wood. These UI kind of make it hard to point at stuff, but mining speed 2, melee damage cultivated 1. So this is the very basic element. This is how we can create our components, right? So I can create this pick head, and let's see, we need a handle, right? So it's part craft 1. I mean, cost is 1, so let's get a handle. It's going to take some getting used to. And what is this? Tool binding. This is how we put the tool head on the handle. That one. Pattern with the tool part. Okay, so let's go back to La Book. And that's what we did. We created these parts, right? Now it says the Tinker Station. To finish the first step in your grand tinkering adventure, it's time to craft your first tool, right? So let's get a Tinker Station. And that's a crafting station. This is a Tinker Station. Let me point out too that you can or could just use a stick as a handle. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Let's grab this crafting station too while we're at it. I want to show you something that's cool about the crafting station. So the crafting station, essentially, you could use like a crafting table, right? So when I open it up, it's your regular crafting table. However, what you might not know is that if we go to functional blocks and we grab, say, did I overshoot it? let's see, I'm looking for a barrel. Beehive. Let's do this. If I put this barrel next to the crafting station, it's now connected to the crafting station. So you can put stuff in the barrel directly from the crafting station or vice versa. Plus, the other thing about the crafting station is that you can put stuff in it and walk away. You can see those items remain in the crafting station, right? Just where you left them. And when you open it up, they're back there to use. Another thing you might have noticed is now you can see I have tabs up here. When you have these Tinker's construct workstations connected next to each other, you can flip back and forth between them using these tabs. And something else you can do is if I do this, so this, now this is on my cursor, I can shift to these other components and it still has it shifted. So this is a great way where you can keep stuff you're working on in this nearby barrel, and as you go flip into the tabs, you can keep those same items for use in whatever tab you want to go to. Now, on this case, let's plot this puppy down now, and that's the next bit we want to go to, right? So, this isn't, it's a Tinker Station, right? That doesn't look like the Tinker Station. Tinker Station. Finish for summary. You have acquired all the parts you need. Get a Tinker Station. And that says, okay. This doesn't look right. So, interesting. Repair and modify. Okay, that's not what we want. So let's see. So even the documentation can be confusing unless I'm missing something here. Tinker Station. Crafting Station. Tinker Station. They used to have slab versions of stations that make things really compact. Well, that would be kind of cool too. So let's see. That doesn't do me any good, does it? So, okay, the book says Tinker Station, and I have these three to add modifiers to tools. Okay. That is the Tinker Station that I put down. Really? I mean, that looks like it. But now here it's saying repair allows creating all basic tool. Okay, creating all basic tools, implying modifiers. Select a from the buttons on the left to get started. Oh, I see. A layout. So I want to create a pickaxe. The problem with this is I'm not seeing the whole screen. Oops, way too much. See the whole screen now, though. So we want a pickaxe, right? Oh, there's a pickaxe. There we go. And then you can put in your bits like so. And this would make a junglewood pickaxe. You can see durability 60, but cultivated 3. So apparently each of the cultivated ones on the various components stack. It has Pierce 1, which attacks cancel out some of the target's armor. Well, that's not bad for a wooden pickaxe, right? Yep. So there you go. So right out of the bat, right, all we've used is basic wood, and we already have a pickaxe. It's not very durable, which you would understand, but it's already superior to any basic wooden pickaxe you would have in the vanilla game. A little more complicated, but so far we've only been using wood, and we already have something that's more useful, right? So then back to le book. So you want to store your extra parts in a special chest. A special chest. Part chests allow you to store an abundance of extra parts you may have. Each slot can hold a stack of 8 parts max. Okay, part chest and tinker chest. Okay, let's try these. So if we go to here, and we'll say part chest. Yep. And let's try, no. Tinker chest. Part chest, tinker's chest. And I'm assuming that we can connect them same way, right? So, no. So here we can look at our tinker's chest and a part chest. Okay, now what was it saying about the part chest? It says the part chest. Part chests allow you to store an abundance of extra parts you may have. Each slot can hold a stack of 8 parts max. If you need more than that, you're doing something wrong and have very convoluted recipes. Try the, it can store any item in a total of 64 slots, so each slot holds just 16 items. Okay, so let's see if we grab these parts. That's tinker's chest. It's a part chest. I see. And let's see. What is this? This is Junglewood pickaxe head. So if I say Junglewood, yeah, I can't get it out of JEI. I'm gonna have to make them myself using natural building blocks, jungle planks. Let's do this. Go back to this thing. Oh yeah, I need stencils. I've actually never played the Tinker's. Well, that's what we're finding out, Weepy. I will tell you, see, it won't look up stencil, but if I say pattern. So it call it stencils, but in JEI it's listed as pattern, which is confusing. Or maybe it becomes a stencil after we imprint it. I don't know. But, I got one. Oh, I see. Then we go back to this part chest, and let's see if I can put in more than one. Yep. Okay. Basic just for having overpowered tools and weapons. I really love it. Yeah, so, Fweepy, you're coming in late, but the point is that Tinker's Construct is all about tools, armor, and weapons. And specifically, a lot of mods will give you, modded tools and armor and weapons, but it's all, one size fits all, right? So if you have, steel armor, and it says, here's a suit of steel armor, and steel armor has these stats, and boom, you're good to go. But Tinker's Construct basically says, no, we're going to take this to the nth degree, so you can customize everything about the tool, the armor, or the weapon, so that you can get the specific traits that you want. And so, like what we showed here is, oh, what happened to that pickaxe I made? I guess it's gone. It's in the ether. So let's make another one real fast. So we want a pickaxe head, right? There we go. And we want a pickaxe handle. You said I could stick, but sticks aren't available really easy at the moment. And then a binder, right? So I've got these pieces, and we go over here, and I say I want to create a pickaxe, and I put the pieces in, and now I have the pickaxe. And if you look, this pickaxe has all sorts of power, including pierce, which is the ability to bypass armor to a certain extent, and that's just with a wooden pickaxe. Kind of makes enchanting obsolete. It does sound sick, and it is just hopped on. I haven't seen anything about Tinker since the old mod pack days. Well, this is it. So I don't have any experience in the back in the old days to compare it against. I'm learning this new, but it is incredibly powerful in terms of the customizations and the tweaking. Now, kind of skipping ahead here, as you can see, when we set this puppy up, each of the different parts would contribute to the overall abilities of the end pick. And you can saw that depending on the materials you chose, you got certain traits up front. Now, this first book just teaches you the basics of doing that, but not what the traits are. Now, this book here, the Encyclopedia of Tinkering, which in survival is kind of a pain in the butt to build, but it basically is going to go through all the different materials and all the different weapons and all the different everything. And this is how you know about what materials and items you can create and what the effects are. And it's very, very comprehensive. However, to give you an idea why it's kind of a pain in the butt to build, if we turn off this and if I go to here, and if we look at this, right, you're going to use molten gold to pour onto a book to make this thing. And of course, this molten gold is all through equipment and stuff you made through Tinker's Construct. So this is not a first day item, right? This is something that you're going to be in the game for a while before you can make it and enjoy, or you're going to have to be creative. But it's really amazing, right? So he'll get into it, but I'm sure you can also add things to him on top of it to increase his ability and make it. So that's when we were looking at this item, the Tinker Station, right? It says repair and modify, right? So you can do stuff so just because you create something doesn't mean it's done and gone, right? You can go in and tweak stuff. Well, let's see. I don't know how to do that. We'll see if the book gets us to there. So we had the storage we just covered, right? The different types of storage. We have the part chest crafting, which gives you some limited storage of a number of parts, and then Tinker's chest crafting, which gives you a greater storage. And just for Fweepy and Pagel, Pagel probably knows this. Your workstations are all, if they're all connected to each other, you can move between them like this using the tabs, which is pretty cool. And also, which one was it? This one. If you have a regular inventory block next to like your crafting station, which is a Tinker's Construct version of the crafting table, you can access this inventory that's right next to it as well. And all of that, I mean, this has been around for a long time, so I had time to refine that behavior, but that is pretty amazing clever and shows that the guys crafting this stuff, they kind of work with this stuff too, so they understand that convenience. Makes it cool. And yeah, if we to your point, well, there's actually a bigger point to be made, but yes, Mojang should write that down. But it's not just this. I mean, there's a whole bunch of mods out there that Mojang should write down stuff to add, instead of giving us like an armadillo or a new type of tree you can't kill. I would much prefer to see this type of stuff. But anyway, don't get me sidetracked. So after the storage, here's your author. So thank you, Selena. Tier 1 melee harvest materials. Now, all the stuff that they have in Tinker's Construct is broken down. The Tinker's things don't break completely. When you break it, you just still have it. You have to repair it. Yeah, now that's another cool thing too, because I've never been a big fan of the durability mechanics in regular Minecraft. If you're playing vanilla, you have access to like vanilla iron and diamond tools, but then you wind up spending all your time looking for more iron and diamonds to repair your tools and armor. And so that becomes, you're not building anything or adventuring or exploring except to just go find iron, diamonds, tools. I don't like that, right? And so this idea of something gets broken and then you still have it, you can fix it, is very appealing to me. But like I was saying, Tinker's Construct actually has a number of tiers of materials, right? So obviously the higher tiers are going to be more uber stuff, and tier 1 is the stuff that you can usually find on your first day or thereabouts. I mean, no, maybe you can get to the nether on the first day, but and it kind of breaks down the very basics of that tier 1 stuff. So you can see that like wood has, if you put it on the head of a tool, it's going to give you this durability, and this mining speed, right? But then it doesn't really have anything else as far as attributes go. No other bonuses. As opposed to rock, which presumably is all your different types of stone, right? You have a much higher durability. It has a much greater mining speed. It adds to your melee damage. And if you have a rock handle, apparently it's going to lower your durability, but it will beef up your mining speed. So this is what I was getting at, is this complexity, all these different things you add up. I'm sure that if you go out there, somebody has some Excel spreadsheets set up that kind of help make this a lot easier to manage, because this is incredibly complex. Look at this. You can make tools out of flint, right? You can make tools out of bone. And we're not just talking a tool. You can mix and match your different heads, right? So you saw how these things combine. Like if I have a wood handle, it doesn't add anything. But if I have a tool of any type made out of a flint handle, well, it's going to be less durable, but it's going to do more melee damage, right? If I make it out of rock, less durable, but mining speed. But you can mix and match these pieces. So I have a head that has 130 durability, has good mining speed. And then, let me see. Melee speed, mining speed, bone. I'm trying to find one. There you go. And then you make a copper handle out of it. It's going to, again, not be very durable, but it's going to increase your mining speed even more, right? And no stats dwarven. Miner's friend. Tool mines faster and has more projectile velocity the deeper you mine, but loses effectiveness if you go to the surface, it probably says. This is why I think people are huge fans of Tinker's Construct. It has a high barrier to entry. It has a steep learning curve. Once you get past that, then this is a treasure trove of twinking and min-max and all the type of stuff that people really, really enjoy on technology mods, right? You can tweak this thing for whatever play style you prefer. And I think that's the attraction. Now, as you keep going through the book, it talks about ranged materials. So when we're talking about, tools and weapons, we also talk about the same thing for your bows and crossbows. And these different materials are going to give you different bonuses depending on whether you use it in a grip or limb. So that's an interesting point. So if we go back to this thing, and let's go ahead. Where's my ranged weapon stuff? That's a bow limb. Okay, so I need 2. Okay, so I never get past that. And which one's a grip? That's a what? A tough handle. Oh. You can see those are all the armor pieces, tough collar. There we go, bow grip. How many? I need 2 for that too. Wow, expensive. Then we go over here, and I can say, that's crossbows. Does I get both? Oh, I need a bowstring too. This, yep. Junglewood bowstrings, interesting. it won't work. What do I need for a bowstring? Craft parts, simply, maybe it'll tell me. Junglewood. Well, it shows me grip. Well, this is interesting. It's not giving me a clues of what it'll accept. Let's just try string. That would be the obvious choice, right? Oh, stringy cobweb. Okay. So back to here. Go to bowstring. Material pattern cost. So material value. It says pattern cost 1. I'm not using enough string. Is that what the thing is? So yes, that was the problem. So how many did I need? 1, 2, 3, 4. Gave me enough bowstring. Then we go back here. Wrong part. Go back here. And I don't know why I could just do this, right? But I'm still stuck in the old way of thinking here. So the grip goes here, string goes here, bow goes here. So this, I didn't want a crossbow necessarily. Do I have a regular bow option? Oh, this is kind of cool. I didn't see this down here. It shows you what it is. Okay, so use my jungle wood crossbow. Durability 120, draw speed 1, velocity 1, projectile power 2, accuracy is a little suboptimal, melee damage. Slug somebody with it, melee speed. What's stringy? Okay. Tool can be repaired using string. Cultivated 2. Tool practically grows more material when repairing. So this is interesting. I mean, you can see how this grows, and this is, like I said, just the basic material, the basic tools. Oh, look, you can make vine bowstrings. Okay, let's look at these. Chorus, grip, string shows. Okay, so those are vines and string are it. Here's your tools. So, okay, this explains it, right? Because it shows a crossbow, but it doesn't show a regular bow unless it's alphabetical. Quick and nimble type of bow. Interesting that the crossbow be quick and nimble. You should never cross a bow. Daggers. Right? So you don't normally have daggers in vanilla, but looks like these things do low damage but to high speed, so you can do a Norman Bates big time on whoever you're after. Flint and brick is a affordable tool effect. So this is an alternative to flint and steel. Looks like you can get it much earlier than you could normally get the other stuff. The hand axe. Basic chopping tool. Okay, I wonder. The comma tills dirt. So this is a hoe alternative. Interact with crops to harvest them. Something I've seen on this, when this comma, not only can you interact with crops to harvest them, you can right click and it will harvest the crops and replant them. So that's nice. But it also shears blocks and animals. So it's more effective. Okay, that's the noise. It's the dragonfly. Shears blocks and animals, effective on plants, area effect attack. So this is not your grandfather's hoe, right? This hoe actually has some, it's a little OP for a hoe, but that's okay. The Matic, this has nothing to do with the old lawyer. This is a versatile tool. It's effective on logs and dirt. So, okay, this replaces an axe and a shovel. And this replaces a hoe, and a pick adds proper name for this tool would be a pick mattock, but people like familiar. So creates paths, mines stone blocks and similar, breaks soft dirts and gravel, harvest level limited to wood. I don't really know what that means, but you know, this is interesting stuff. Pickaxe, we know what this is. Mine stone blocks. And sword. Medium damage sweep attack. Okay, repairing. So this kind of goes back to what RJ was talking about. To repair tools, simply place a tool in the tinker station or tinker anvil with the material of the head. Alternatively, you can use repair kits, which work both in crafting tables and when right-clicking the tool directly. Okay, you can swap out parts, right? So you ever wish you could do a past mistake. If you want to change the material in one of the parts, place the tool with the desired new part in the tinker station. For tools that have multiple of the same part, try for multiple of the same part. So now this is getting complicated, right? This begs the question. Multiples of the same part, do those give you multiple? What is this? This doesn't tell me. Let's go back to the repairing then. Ever wish you in the tinker station? I was in the tinker. Was this not the tinker station? Tinker station. So maybe I have to choose. So RJ or Pagel, do you guys have any input on how I can? This is the tinker station, and it's saying I could swap out parts. That looks like armor. Oh. No, that's where we started, right? Repair and modify. So tool is okay, so this must be. So here's the tool you would want to fix, and here's the materials that you put in to repair it. Presumably. Well, here, let's go. So if we take this, well, that's not going to work. Okay, let's try this. Okay. Now if I go to this and I put this in and I do this, there you go. And it'll repair it. If I put this, that will also, all of those things will repair it. So what are these three different things? This looks like a powder of some type. I don't know what this is. It looks like a cluster of crystals. Last button, bottom left to the left side, I think is the swap part. Okay. Last button, bottom right of the left side. Last button, bottom right. No, this was the armor station, right? Armor and shield. This is the repair part here. This definitely seems to repair, but I don't know what the three different buttons are for. Let's see if the book explains that. See, it's interesting because kind of, right? It has pictures of the same stuff, but it's got 5 of these. And it doesn't have that crystal one I have. So either this book's out of date or this is like a screenshot from later in the game when I've unlocked something or something. Recycling tools. If you change your mind about a tool, you can always disassemble it in the part builder to salvage one of the tool parts. You can potentially salvage the second part with a higher chance. Okay. Well, I mean, it might be possible because this... let's try this. So it says maybe I can. Oh, what happened to him? There we go. So maybe. So here's how I can pull parts out, right? I can pull out the binding, I could pull out the handle, I could pull out the head. And it looks like it would come out, and this is damaged, it looks like it would come out undamaged. But to repair it, that would be this thing. But I still don't understand what these are. But and this is different than what the book shows, because I have these 3 items. These 2 are in the book, but all of this is configured differently than it shows here. Which is why, doing this in a group session so that we can all talk through it together, right? Modifiers are extra enhancements, my mistake, that can be applied to a tool similar to enchantments. The section below describes each of the modifiers. So traits, upgrades. See what I'm talking about? Complexity. So this could be a college course all onto its own. It'd be one I take. So traits are inborn abilities related to the creation of the tool. So we saw how we created a tool and it already had some abilities, and that's based on the materials they used. They're brought out with superior quality, sympathetic magic, or by running through enough energy into the tool that it starts exhibiting unusual properties. Running enough energy into the tool that it starts. This reminds me of something. So you old timers, maybe you can help me on this. I seem to remember somebody saying that with Tinker's construct, the more that you use a given tool, it kind of starts unlocking abilities, right? So because with all the stuff we've seen so far, it sounds like it would kind of encourage somebody to like run around with a golf bag of tools and swap out the tool you want to use, or swap out the material on a given tool that you want to use for a given job. And it sounds now like to try to fight that, they're now saying that if you use a given tool for a long time, and of course keep repairing it, it starts to have unusual, presumably beneficial properties. There's 2 basic types of traits. Okay, so we've already seen material traits, which were traits which come from the materials chosen for each part of the tool, and tool traits, which are native to the type of tool crafted. Yeah, the XP will unlock. So, okay. So, RJ, when you say XP, you're talking about like the game XP that you would normally get, and some of it goes to the tool and some of it goes to you, or just when you get certain levels, it'll unlock extra modifier slots? And I'll take a second for the work through the system. Whoops. Cover tier materials with full list of material traits. Upgrade. Okay, so far we were just talking about traits, and that was just from creating the tool, but you can upgrade it, right? Upgrades are standard improvements to a tool. They're usually done by applying an item and rubbing off some of its magic qualities, like redstone making tools faster. Most tools start with around 3 upgrade slots, though it's possible to get more slots through other types of modifiers. No, the tool gets its own XP from using it, 1 XP per use. Okay. So there was a science fiction book that I read in the mid 80s called The Practice Effect. I don't remember who wrote it, but in that book, there is a guy's transported to, the tool levels up the more you use it, given it an incentive to keep it. Okay, so so this is an interesting mechanic, right? Because Minecraft is a world of disposable tools, and this is very much against that grain. So it's interesting. In the practice effect story I was talking about, they had a guy got transported to a world where if you use something, the more you use something, the better it got suited to whatever you were using it for. And to give you an example, when he got sent to this world, the guy who bought his equipment for him figured he'd kind of try to screw him over, and so he got like ill-fitting shoes and a cheapy backpack and everything. But once the guy got onto this world, he found the shoes fit better and better, more comfortable, got more durable. The backpack seemed to get bigger and have more pockets. And he's trying to figure all this out. At one point, after he'd figured out the mechanic, he had a little robot assistant And while they were trying to flee some bad guys, they were in kind of like a wagon type deal rolling down a hill. He put the robot in front and had it start spinning this board, and he put down some planks on the sides, and as this thing was careening down the hill, it started to transform essentially into an airplane and took off, right? So this is interesting, this whole idea of something gets better and more capable the more you use it. Now, this one of the other books that you can make in the game has a full list of upgrades available on tools, along with Encyclopedia Tinkering, which we covered, requires molten gold poured on a book. Now, it has slotless modifiers. So if the stuff inherent in the parts and materials you use is not enough, and the upgrades aren't enough, now we have slotless modifiers, right? If you're getting a headache like me, this is a good time to take some ibuprofen. Or Tylenol. Slotless modifiers do not require slots, hence the term. Unlike all other types of modifiers, this typically means the modifier either has some trade-off or the effect is minor. One notable type of slotless modifier is bonus modifiers, which grant additional modifier slots. Many exist that grant more upgrade slots, and I'm told some even exist to grant more ability slots. Okay, and these other books, including the Uber book of all with the molten gold, will tell you more about this. Good Lord, let's see. Okay. So abilities are powerful modifiers that drastically change a tool. Modifiers such as Silky and Auto Smelt are notable as both change the effects of mining blocks, while dual wielding makes tools much easier to handle. Nearly all tools start with a single ability slot and can only receive up to 2 more, so choose abilities wisely. It sounds like that they're kind of permanent, unlike everything else here. Interesting. And defense modifiers. Defense are a type of modifier exclusive to armor. Okay, makes sense. Boosting protection against particular threats such as fire or knockback. They provide another way to customize armor, as most armor types lack material traits. So you remember when we made that pickaxe, we got certain traits just because we chose jungle wood, right? In this case, it says most armor doesn't have that, right? So you wouldn't get a trait, say, for iron armor versus, say, diamond armor. Typically, armor with a large number of defense slots start with fewer upgrade slots, meaning functionality sacrificed for protection. Okay. So Mighty Smelting also has a full list. That's one of these books. Further reading. Basically, these other books down here, you can create all of them in game. Most of them are pretty easy to make. Grout, I believe, is just clay, sand, and gravel, right? Sky slime ball. Let me talk a bit about slime. One of the things I noticed is that in Tinker's Construct, they kind of have, like, I would almost call a slime fetish. They love their slime so much so that slime, it's not like, you know, you can have any flavor you want as long as it's green. No. They've got slime variants up the yin yang. So there are a bunch of different types of slime in this game. Now, a sky slime ball, I'm assuming it's found like in the sky somehow or something like that. So it's something that's probably available early game, but getting to it might be a challenge. Nether grout. We are grout. Okay. Hey, that's my line. Okay, so hottest new technology in molten metals. So, okay, that explains where all this is. And that's the end of the book. So that, my friends, is the absolute basics of Tinker's Construct. And as you can see by all these other books, we haven't even begun to scratch the surface. So now I do know that there's a whole book on smelting, and that's because, like I said, this is a mod about the weapons and the armor and the tools, and we just saw the basics. So all you really need to know about making them, creating them, modifying them. But you remember that the materials, right? The materials that you make your tools, the Slimer and Skylands. Yep, kind of figured. hence the name. But in fact, let me show you something here. If I go to my map and I go up here, this is not sky slime, and I can't, because I'm in survival. There we go. So this thing spawned out in the ocean. This, and I have an effect on me because I was probably in this green slime stuff, but this green slime stuff is earth slime, right? Which makes sense. Sky slime's probably in the sky. I do find it weird that the earth slime's out in the middle of the ocean, but work with me here. This little, I spotted this thing when I was exploring this world. So, presumably there are multiple, well, you know what? Not presumably, we've got JEI. So what we'll do is we'll say, give me everything that's in Tinker and a slime. It's too much. I just want the basic slime types. Slime wood, slime steel, cinder slime, queen slime. This is what I'm talking about. You see, it's, here we go. Sky slime ball. So what we want to do is, and this is interesting. So I got a sky slime ball and an ender slime ball, but I'm looking at earth slime right here, pal. So it might be a bug in JEI, or it might be a bug in Tinkers, but it should give me all my different slime. Here, let's try this. See if there's a Tinkers tab. Tinkers World. Here we go. So I got a sky slime ball, an ichor ball, ender slime ball. Is there a search on this? Bingo. It doesn't say anything about earth slime. There's a glow ball. Not suited for consumption. Yeah, it doesn't sound tasty. Can I get... Earth slime seems to be a liquid. It's not like a gel. Game mode. Oh, earth slime is just regular slime. Woof. That's kind of anticlimactic. Yeah. Yep. Thank you, RJ. I mean, I guess I should have guessed that with the color. Though, I don't know why that liquid slime stuff has given me particle effects, so... Anyhow, so back to this, right? So like I said, we've seen how in the very basic mechanics, what you use to create your stuff has a direct and sometimes substantial impact on what you make. But when we were talking about that tier 1 level of materials, it's mostly stuff you're already familiar with. This is where things kind of go off the rails, because this is where they're going to start creating stuff that you normally wouldn't get in vanilla. And this stuff is presumably going to give you even more powerful bonuses when you make things out of this material. Now, I can already see that a big piece of it, like we're talking about metals, and we're talking about how we're working with the metals, right? So if you know much about metal, you want something that is more than a campfire that's going to melt your metals. You want to move your molten metal from one place to another, usually to put it into a mold for casting, or into some shape that you use to forge. This says upgrades. I don't think we do forging. But let's see what it says. Now you're done with tinkering these wimpy materials. It's time some real Tinker's materials. Metal. Okay. I think this is where I mean, we saw where the rubber meets the road before, but now this is where you put like a blower in your engine and, you know, crank it with nitrous oxide. So obviously you're still never as cool and strong as I am. Okay. Thank you. The melter. So it looks like it's a multi-block tool that, and this is probably how we melt gold so we can make the fancy book. Your basic melt. Oh, so this is, I guess, like the first tier of a melter, but able to perform a variety of simple tasks. So yes, it does smelting. Oh, look at this. So it gives +3 nuggets for every ore, +1 gem per ore. So by the sounds of this, if we put in, like, say, an iron ore, we're going to get an iron ingot's worth +3 nuggets, right? So that's essentially the same as 12 nuggets. So there you go. That's a 25% bonus, or 33% bonus, excuse me. Heater can be replaced with seared tank, which I don't know what that means. Internal capacity of 9 ingots. Okay, so if we were to jump, well, if you pour in 9 and you get a bonus of +3 nuggets each, so you wouldn't want to put in 9 at once. Melts 3 items at once. Very fuel efficient. That's good. I'm always worried about that when you're dealing with something like this. Ideal for melting piglin drops such as gold. Oh, look at that. So when you're talking about not just piglin drops, but I mean, Minecraft's full of these random armor drops and stuff. And before you would put that in a blast furnace in vanilla and you get a single nugget out. I don't know how much you get out now, but potentially this could be better, right? So it has okay, so melter. So it's showing me the GUI, but it's not telling me how to make it. So let's see if we can create this. Did I screw something up? Huh. Oh, because I'm in search. There we go. Melter, right? Whoa. Well, this got complicated fast. It used to double, so that's annoying. Oh, really? Each level bricks gives you more space, so if it's 5 tall, it's 30 ingots. Holy moly. Okay. So a seared first smeltery, place above a tank or heater to fuel. This, okay, tank or heater. This is a heater. Solid fuel source for the melter. Brain of the smeltery. A drain. A duct. A chute. Input and output. Filter, fluid input and input using copper cans. Oh my gosh. Here's a fuel tank. Is a fuel gauge. Okay, this so this book is not going to do me a whole lot of good because it goes from saying, here's this item is, it can do awesome stuff. Assuming that you've already put this item together, here's how you fly it. It's not, oh, well, that's kind of cool. So, okay, here, let's see if we can reverse engineer this. So we got a picture of this thing. So there's a heater, right? So I'm going to go over here. And let's see. So that was the heater. We saw the heater, right? Bah. Okay, then there's this table-looking thing. So this looks like the table-looking thing. Yep, seared casting table. Okay. So far, so good. Of course, we're not actually trying to do anything yet, so... what's this thing? So it's got like a meter on the side here. That's this thing. What is this? It's a seared cast items using molten metals from a smeltery. Or is it this thing? Seared fuel tank. Okay, this looks like it's made out of bricks, and this looks solid. So let's look at the picture in the book. Looks solid, so we'll go with this thing. And then, oh yeah, back to the book. And then with this, it's got a faucet. it looks like it has a faucet on either side. So that's this thing. Seared, yes, right? No. Okay. So, and then these little things I think are faucets, right? So, seared faucet. Look at that. It says I did something correctly. Mostly by accident. Okay. Can I... Okay. So let's see if the book doesn't... Obviously, we need to put fuel in here. We need to put stuff in here. Operation. These 3 slots are where you put in what you want to melt. It may be ores, ingots, or anything else you feel like attempting to melt. These 3 slots, okay? This is where your molten material will show. Remember that you may only have 1 molten material at a time in the melter. Okay, so it sounds like you don't make alloys here. Let's see, you need a 3x3 filled in on the ground of bricks. Are you sure you're not talking about the more advanced smelting that's in this other book? Because mighty smelting, right? This goes into tier 3 stuff. And this is where we start getting into the smelting controller and all that stuff. Structure requirements. Too big. Floor made of acceptable smelting blocks. I mean, Max, it sounds like you're on the next tier up. 16 by 16 by 65 external. We're still in baby smelting here. Well, it makes sense because that's why they call it puny smelting, right? So if I do this, yes. So here's my AI. So let's go ahead and get some copper ore. Right? And give me a stack of these bad boys. And if we put these in here, 1, 2, 3. Okay. And heater. Coal block. Oh, and it's on. And things are happening. So it looks like it's melting this. So I put in 3 blocks. That should be the equivalent of 3 ingots worth. Oh, that's yeah. So I think this is the training wheels mode. You already know how to write a 10 speed, but they gave us a. What? So it ate up 1. Hold on. Let's just talk about this for a second. So I put in 3 blocks of copper ore. And in vanilla Minecraft, if I smelt that, I would get 1 ingot. Now, according to this, it ate one of my blocks. And I didn't do anything fancy. I just have the basic stuff here. And it says I have 8 ingots worth of molten copper. Now that's just crazy. But it's not, right? Because if I hold down shift, it says 720 millibuckets. So that's not even a full bucket. So how can I have 8 ingots is only 720 millibuckets? I don't get this. So, okay, back to the puny crafting. Maybe explains this. This part we got. This is where molten materials show. Remember, you may only have 1 molten material at a time. Got it. This is where your fuel shows. If you have a heater, it will appear. Okay. Moving fluids. Okay. Now you use your puny melter. You may ask, but Cyril, how do I get these metals out? That's the question. So here we go. For all your kitchen and bathroom Fluid moving. Faucets are your main way to get fluids out from melters, smelteries, tanks, or any other valid fluid. Simply place it onto the block and right-click to pour into a fluid direct container below. Faucets pour out from the sides or bottom of the connected block to the block directly below the faucet. Okay. So all of this makes faucets respond to redstone signals. Ah. So if you're an automation nut, this is interesting. A redstone pulse will pour out its contents until the destination is full or the source is empty. You can have channels, so you can have liquid hot death flowing all over your base. That's cool. Channels can be filled with fluid from the top or from the side, set to input. Channels have arrows inside them that show the direction fluid will travel. Yeah, but I want to do something. Oh, copper can craft copper can. Copper cans and buckets can be used to manually transfer. Well, how can I manually transfer molten copper in a copper can? Copper cans hold 1 ingot worth of material. Casting. Here we go. All right, Tinker, you melted down some metal and figure out how to move it around. All that's left now is to turn it into some tool part. Yes, yes, please. Cast your tool part. First, craft a blank sand cast and use the interact button to put it into a casting table. Craft a tool part in the part builder and use it on the blank sand cast. Then use it again to remove the part. You can then pour molten metal into the table and grab your part once it's cooled. Sand cast is used in the process. Cast your part, craft a blank sand cast. Okay, so let's turn this off. Seriously. There we go. Sand cast. There we go. So how do we make a blank? Oh, so just a block of sand will make 4 of these bad boys. So we can do that, right? Okay, there's a block of sand. So if I put this into a crafting grid, I get 4 of these. You know what I want? Copper pick. Better yet. Jungle wood. Nope. Let me grab any one of these. Flint. I want to try something here. So I have some blank sand casts. And it says that I pop this on here, right? And now it's saying that I could take this flint and I use it in there. And now it's got the cast. And that is... Oh, and it killed it off. So there we go. So now I have a copper pickhead that we created from casting. Okay, let's look in here. So you can see we had up to here. Capacity. Oh. Yeah. Now, you remember it said that it had 8 ingots. So the total capacity is 12 ingots now. And it said that I was using 8 ingots. And yet making this head cost me 2 ingots worth. Which, if you think about it, like if I was to make a vanilla pickaxe, I would use 3 items, like 3 iron ingots to make a head. So going this route, not only is this melting process going to give you extra material, but the item you created actually uses less material than its equivalent vanilla. So interesting. Okay, back to the book. So that's how sandcast can be created. Yes, we did that. Sandcast crafting. Oh, you can do it in the part builder. Okay, let's go over here and do that. So if I'm this one, right? Yes. So these are the stencils. If I put this in, oh, look at this. So I can make a blue plate sandcast, right? Pop that in. Turn on the juice. Let it cool. Copper boot plating. So these aren't boots that you can wear. Nope. But it is plating. You run out of space, so you get more ingots when you use some. You run out of space, so you get more ingots when you use some. Oh. So I see. So when we used some, it went ahead and filled up the rest with this. So this is like a reserve waiting to go. And I still notice I'm still using the original block of coal, even though I'm sitting here yakking. So my guess is that it only uses this energy when we're actively smelting stuff. But if we're like, in yakking mode and just, doing weird stuff, then it's actually not using my fuel, or the fuel lasts an incredibly long time. Either one works for me, but okay. So now we can see how we can cast parts. Very, very interesting. And we can cast parts. You don't even have to have an item, because you remember before, the first one I made because I had a pick head. But here, using the part builder, you can actually cast any of the available types using part builder. Gold casts. Gold casts are reusable. To make one, simply pour 1 ingot's worth of molten gold over a tool part, placing a casting. Oh, so every time I was using these sand casts, it would eat the sand cast. But if we do this, okay, and how do I drain this? So let's see, gold ore. Can I use a bucket? Oh. Probably not the optimal way to do it. And then that was a basin, right? There we go. So now it's making gold. But I noticed that I put 3 in and it didn't fill up nearly as much with the gold as it did put a casting basin under the faucet. Look at that. See, the gold doesn't fill as much. Okay. So then this cools, and there you go. So now this gold cast is reusable. We can use it forever. Is that what it said? Pretty sure it's what it said. Reusable. To make 1 gold, simply pour 1 ingot's worth of molten gold over a tool part. Tool part is used up in the process. Okay. Composite casts. Composite casting allows you to make new materials by pouring fluid over an item. Notable materials are slime wood and naudal, which are made by pouring slime or molten obsidian, respectively. Isn't molten obsidian just supposed to be lava? Over wooden tool parts. So composite casts. Composite casting allows you to make new materials. No, okay. And automation. So holy smokes, right? You could do the stuff we just did, but casting basins and tables interact with hoppers, allowing items to easily be inserted and cooled items to be removed. Comparators also make redstone turn funny colors when connected to a basin or table. And so here's your tier 2 materials. So iron, this must be something from, well, a lot of this stuff is coming from Tinker's Construct. Endstones and Endstone is vanilla. I don't know about the slimy vine. Let's take a look at these. So durability is substantially higher, but these mining speeds and melee damages are substantial. These bonuses here on the handles seem to be about the same type of values, but the heads, that's where things get crazy. You can also make an ingot cast to pour out individual ingots when you want to dump it and you have less than a block. Oh, well, let's take a gander. So, okay, if I say ingot cast, can I, yes. Oh, hold on. Oh, it's red sand. Okay. So, I think this is a good way of doing it, right? Because, yeah, I mean, we're using it, but ingots is a traditional way of storing this material anyway. I'm in creative, so I probably won't burn myself, but I bet you if I was in survival and I grabbed this thing while it was still liquid hot magma, it would be detrimental to my happiness and health. And that was 11 ingots worth. Very cool. Thank you, RJ. Okay. So, what else? Slime wood, a slime wood head. Mining tier iron. Scorched stone. Necrotic bone. Oh, so this is stuff you can make out of it. Necrotic bone doesn't sound pleasant. Slimy vine, endstone. About time that stuff's worth something. Tier 2 ranged materials, slime wood. The basin gives you full blocks. So that's faster than doing it by ingot. Well, okay. I'm going to have to test that. So, melt, melt, melt. Really? So, I don't want it raining on my smelting operation here. Turn this on. Okay. Oh, it's 721 mega, so I need to put some more in, right? Because we need, everything works on 1,000 millibuckets. Really? 810. Oh, and it did, okay, it did solidify. So, very cool, RJ. Thank you. Interesting. The numbers are kind of wacky, though, because it looked like it holds 810 millibuckets, which gets me a full block of gold. Yeah, I got to figure out those numbers. Plus, when you're putting in the ore, I get a lot less ore from the gold than I do the copper, right? If I put in 3 copper ore blocks, it's only going to melt 1 because there's not enough room for all 3. But I put in 3 gold ore blocks. It easily took them, and I put in 3 more and then 3 more besides. So, interesting. Just want to double check this real fast. Yep. It ate 1, and it's a little over half. It's 8 ingots worth. Interesting. Okay, let's test the 8 ingots worth. Yeah, it's what it is. So the thing is, I don't know about you, but copper is one of those materials I don't have a problem finding. I don't have a problem having. I have a problem storing and using, right? But using this, I now multiply that problem by 8-fold. Don't know if I want to multiply the problem by 8-fold. Okay, so that proves that works. So back to le book. So you can also make ranged weapons with this stuff. Okay. Now tier 2 armor. We haven't talked much about armor. What do I need to make armor? Armor plating, shield plating. Shield plating. Not sure why it's doing so much for copper. Sounds like a glitch. Well, I agree. It could sound like a glitch, but also, I mean, it would definitely be a glitch if I got those types of numbers of gold and not with copper. So it could be some type of, tier issue where you get oodles of one tier and less of another. So Tinker Station, we want to make armor. So I need to go to this, and I need boot plating. Already got chest plating. Okay, let's try this. Chest, right? It takes 8 for... No. So... I want the chest. Oh, that's not how it works. Give me the... Right? Before, when we were here, part builder, Tinker Station. Depth protection. You want to wear copper in the water? I need mail. Okay. Let's go back to this. Where's chest plating? Oh, that's what I thought that was a shield. So I don't remember. Didn't I do this before? You need copper in Tinker's construct. It's part of... I see. So you go through a lot of copper. And it makes sense. I mean, copper is a key component in a lot of alloys in real life. So when we were making this stuff originally... So this is where we put stuff together. This is where we made the parts. But I can't make copper parts here. I can't make wooden parts either. To get the piece of mail or whatever it's called, you have to put the cast in the smelt. Okay. Whoops. Oh boy. Hey. This is another reason I don't like creative. I mean, it's easy enough to fix, I guess, but station. Any metal stuff has to be cast in the smelter. Okay, so let's take this out. Let's put this in. Okay. So copper mail, copper boot plating. Come back. Do I have two of the same thing? Tinkers, I do have two of the same thing. I need a parts table, right? Or what was it? Okay, so this is the part that I need, right? I need to put armor. I need a plate and the mail. Copper plated boots. So depth protection 2. What is depth protection 2? Oh, not water. Dwarven armor. Armor has more protection the deeper you mine, but loses effectiveness if you go too high. Okay. Show off those boots. Fancy. Okay. Thank you, RJ. So back to the book. Okay. And leather. Leather mail. Stone, iron, scorched stone. Puny armor. Choose your path with your armor. Travelers give you highly modifiable armor with more room for abilities, while plate. So travelers is a type of armor, while plate gives you more opportunities for defense. If you have no fashion sense, you can mix both. Okay, so let's look at a traveler's vest. Traveler's vest. Don't forget to tuck in the tag. Don't want to walk around with it. Okay. It's low armor, low durability, great in snow. 3 upgrade slots, 2 defense slots, 1 ability slot. Tanned. Traveler's pants. Interesting. Tools can be enhanced with upgrades. General upgrades. Diamonds are forever. I'm a dwarf and I'm digging. Hi-ho, hi-ho. General upgrades work well on any tool. These upgrades will enhance your tool all around. Interesting. Experience. If you feel smarter with some experience on your belt, increase XP gain from blocks and mobs. Multiple levels of experience. Increases experience gained with each level. So it goes right back to the stuff we were saying at the very beginning, is that this incredibly complex and flexible mod. You're gonna need to build that smelter I showed you, so you can pour gold on a book to have all this rich, detailed information for all the tiers. And gosh, this baby has tank. This, like, I'll link you the song later. Okay. This baby has a 120 millimeter cannon, a mounted machine. Oh, yeah, there we go. Increases the tank size of the tool. Tool becomes a portable fluid container. Wow. This is just wild, right? Zoom. Allows you to zoom in. So that's the spyglass. Melee upgrades. Fiery. Freezing. Knockback. Necrotic. Critical hit steals life from your enemies to heal you. Wow. Padded. Severing. Enemies drop their heads. Multiple levels. Each level increases decapitated chance further. Decapitation. Sweeping edge. What is anti-aquatic? Increases damage to sea creatures. Not to be confused with impaling. Disclaimer, you're a horrible person if you use this on Peaceful Sea Life. Bane of... Okay. Pierce Killager, the newest Minecraft death metal band, coming soon to a village near you. Increases damage against villagers and illagers. Smite, Sharpness, Swift Strike. Increases attack speed. Harvest upgrades. Okay. Blasting. Mines. Blocks weaker to explosives faster, such as ores, multiple levels. Haste. Light speed. Mines well lit blocks faster. Fiery ranged upgrades. So for the love of Pete, people, you see the deal here. In fact, if I had known all this would have definitely been a two-parter. Now, with all this crazy complexity, right? Oh my gosh. And we're only on the second book. Now, here's the thing that'll blow your mind. This is the vanilla mod. This is just the out-of-the-box, basic, run-of-the-mill Tinker's Construct experience. There are add-ons and compat mods that increase this substantially. And so if this is even remotely interesting to you, as you can see what I've done here, I think you really need to spend some time in the mod yourself and experimenting. I think that is where you're going to get the most bang for your buck. I mean, I'm in book 2 and we're on page 137, for God's sakes. Nearsighted, farsighted, worldbound. Oh, hold on. Mighty smelting. Oh, that's a book. That's this book. Encyclopedia, and that's this book. Okay, let's move on to book 3. Tinker's Gadgetry. Okay, any questions before we go on? Are you getting any value out of this? Are you learning anything? You have questions? Introduction, gadgets, okay. Skull materials. Hey, future current tinker. My name's Melvin. I fell in a slime pool once. Since then, I've never stopped experimenting with slime. Well, I'm not a master tinker yet. I'm hoping some of my discoveries one day. Okay, this book covers inventions I've made. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so gadgets include these things, but right off the back, we got slime cake. I guess technically that's a Twinkie. Learning a lot. Yeah, half of the stuff didn't exist when I last interacted with the mod, so interesting to see all the new additions and learn along. Thank you, because I'm definitely learning at the same time. I'm a bit overwhelmed, actually. I'm just having fun watching you experience it first. Thank you, because this is just crazy, though, right? I mean, I've played with Create Mod and stuff, and that blew my mind. This blows my mind on a totally different scale. So, and I don't know how much more of mind-blowing my poor mind can take. But anyhow, slime cake, like I said, that's probably like a Twinkie. I found slime glass works great as an alternative to wheat in cake, and liquid slime can be turned into uniquely flavored frosting. What do you do? No, don't leave it at that. I wonder what Ender Slime or Earth Slime does when... Yes, don't... Piggyback pack. I'm not quite sure he's wearing it correctly. Maybe he's just being pig-headed. Using a piggyback pack on a mob lets you pick them up to ride you. Perfect for when your pig gets tired of long journeys. They're also good for tossing monsters into your smeltery. I've successfully worn up to 3 piggy backpacks at one time, though it's hard to walk with so many riders. Okay. A flint shuriken. Okay, if you're not familiar with shurikens, they're throwing stars. Ninjas are known to use these. Sharpening flint into a star shape creates a quite effective projectile weapon. While it's nowhere as good as a bow, still produces pretty good Okay. Quartz shuriken. Far lighter than flint and far sharper. Causes more damage, less knockback. Glow ball. Glowstone and snowballs. Lets me create a throwable light source. Now, that's kind of cool. Like a glow stick, right? You can throw it into a corner, and it's effective for lighting up hard to reach areas or finding... I wonder if it bounces. Well, that calls for an experiment. Let's see. No. No silent J's. Up. Thank you. Oh. Hold on. Options. Get you guys out of there. So, so it does leaves like a little layer of splat. How cool is that? Does it get brighter if there's more of them in one spot? No, not. I mean, just bigger zone, I guess. Do they stack? Nope. That's so cool. Yes, they're like throwable torches. Now, here's a question. If I get rid of this, do I get my slime back? Here, let me come out of this. Game mode survival. Do I get my... And the answer's no. Yeah, lighting up big caves, or not just lighting up big caves, but lighting up big caves from the top, right? If you're looking down into a cave, you can, toss those puppies. Oh yeah, we're in game mode creative. Okay. Let's look at these cakes, right? It doesn't tell me anything about these cakes. Ender slime cake, blood cake. That must be English. Magma cake. Yeah, throwing it down holes would be cool. Okay, I'm gonna try this. I don't know if this is gonna affect me if I'm in creative. So, game mode survival, and I need a bed. Well, just in case I explode or something, we'll do it over here. Okay, set my spawn point in case this kills me. I'm not hung. Oh, it's a cake. I gotta set it down, right? Up. I'm affected. I got a sun. Is that fire resistance? Is that what that is? Fire resistance. Okay, so that was a magma cake. A magma cake gives you fire resistance. Okay, I'm into this. This is good. So tinker cake. Okay, blood cake. It's kind of salty. Let's see. What's going on there? Hold on. It didn't last long. Oh, regeneration. Pretty short-lived, but okay. Ender slime cake. Levitation. No. No. Ouchie, mama. You can kind of turn your smelter into a mob farm of sorts and produce blood when they die. Yeah. Really? You can turn your smelter into a mob farm of sorts and produce blood. Okay, hold on. Let me finish this cake here. Nope. What you did the ender? Ichor cake. I have no idea what this could be. Is that my armor? Absorption. Armor, damage absorption, I'm assuming. Sky slime cake. Jump boost 2. Yeah, okay. Earth slime cake. Is that luck? Yeah. Okay. So get out of here. You can turn your smelter into a mob farm of sorts. Ichor is a Greek myth thing. Said the blood of gods makes sense. Gives you damage absorption. Ah, okay. Thanks, Peggle. Is it Peggle with a long A or Paggle? Just curious. I don't want to be calling you the wrong name. Very cool though. Okay. Where was the book? Oh, hold on. Let's go back to that mob thing. You said you can turn your smelter into a mob farm and storage. They produce blood when they die. And I'm assuming, okay. I can't because this is gold. And I can't because this is survival, so. Basin, right? Cool. Cool, so to speak. You have to use the bigger smelter. I don't even know if I want to go to that trouble yet. Let's see. It's pronounced bagel, but with a P. Okay, so it's Pagel. Got it. Thank you, sir. Or ma'am. Or whatever. It doesn't matter. Oh, I see otters. Okay, so let's go back to the book then. We'll get to the big old smelter. Oh, that is. Okay, so book 3. Oh, we were on this one. So Glowball. Melvin. Who's kind of weird. Fancy making use of rare materials, I managed to create variants item frames with unique properties. Clear, turn invisible when an item is placed inside. Gold, gradually rotates the item automatically. Crafting with a redstone torch for. Oh, hold on. Hold everything. So Tinker frame said gold, right? Inverted gold, golden. So we put this on here, and then we put this in there. Looks almost like a clock. Okay, what else we got? Diamond gradually reduces the rotation until the item's upright, supports more rotations than a standard frame. Odd modifiers. I just noticed the time. This time has blown past. We got about 15 more minutes. Modifier work table. Arrange seared stone like this makes it easier to target specific modifier in the recipes. Okay, so what is this? This is seared bricks and just regular rock, right? So if I say, hold on. Tinker work. That's the fastest way. Let's run over here. Can I add this to my... Yep, look at that. There it is. Modifier work table. Add a tool and the proper items to tune the tool's modifiers. Oh, it's a tool, not armor. So, right? And the proper items to tune. So if I go, here we go. Right, makes it easier to target specific modifier. Arranging something like this makes it. So odd modifier, invisible ink, sort modifiers, remove modifiers. Certain potions, thick and mundane potions appear to do minor damage to the tool, while potions of harming, especially splash potions, do quite a bit more damage to the tool. I once actually spilled invisibility potion on my tool and discovered the potion actually works to hide modifiers from view. Okay, what about the... Okay. So that's what these are. Remove modifiers, sort modifiers, extract okay. Extract defense, extract ability, extract? Extra open modifier slots to tab. Yeah, extracting defense modifiers from enchanted books or tools requires Earth Slime. Oh, so extract. So it sounds like you could take an enchanted item and pull stuff out of it that you could then add. Extract ability, toggle interaction. Slimy seeds. Occasionally explore dungeons or nether fortresses found slimy seeds. Them on either regular or slimy dirt produces slimy grass of the same qualities if you transplant it from one of the islands. Slimy saplings. Oh. So slimy, huh? Man. Look at that. Slimy saplings, slimy seeds planted in dirt, or slimy dirt to make slimy grass. Okay. Can I harvest slimy grass? Whoa. Well, I'm in creative, so that's not going to be very good. Give me a hoe. That work better? Nope. Oh, it says I need a shovel. Duh. That worked. But you just get dirt. So I don't know why I would want slime grass. I'm going to have to figure that out. Back to game. Let's see. Back to the gadgetry. Sky Slime Islands. Float. Yes, we discussed that. Earth Slime Islands, which I guess by default spawn in water. Clay Islands are odd compared to others. As the islands appear more overworld than slime, these islands do sometimes produce an odd clay slime I've named Terracubes. They cannot jump very high and seem bound to darkness like many other monsters in the overworld. Oh, so there's a new slime creature. These blood red islands are occasionally found in the lava oceans of the nether, tend to higher concentration of magma cubes. Oh, magma cube farms. Ender slime islands can be found around the outer islands. Wow. Maybe with silk touch. Yeah, maybe. Sky slime geodes. Sky slime geodes are found in caves near the surface and rarely even I've seen one on the surface, leading me to believe they might have origins in space. Oh, and they have geodes of all the different types. Echor, ender slime, staves, combining slime crystals and slime wood, aids in creating very flexible tools. For love, these staves, a melting pan, Melt your blocks and hold fluid for your Staffley goals. Ancient tools. Skull materials. Placing one of these skulls in a casting basin and adding ender slime can enhance their ability as a helmet. I don't want to get in somebody's head that way. Let's see. Drowned slime skull. Oh my gosh. Oh, and that's just the third book out of 6. This is the alloying. Okay, so this is where you can mix and match your metals. This is going to be the big multi-block jobber. You have to find 2 materials that can be alloyed together, put them in a fueled smeltery, and watch as they melt together, form a new, stronger material. Need hotter fuels. Oh my God. Can you show me a picture of one of these so I can build one? No. Well, that's not helpful. Anvil crafting. Features: use your melter, pour 4 ingots worth of copper and seared bricks to get your smelting controller. Your smeltery has some requirements. Make it too big. Smeltery must have a floor made of acceptable smelting blocks, excluding glass. Acceptable blocks will be showcased in a few pages. Smeltering GUI is so... Entity melting? That's what you were talking about. The mighty smeltery can be used to melt away the useless part of entities in order to harvest the true insides. The only requirement is that the smeltery has fuel. Notable entities. So it doesn't tell me which ones I can use on the floor, but look at these materials. Durability's crazy high. Mining speed 6. Damage 2.5. Tier 3 range materials. Amethyst, bronze, slime steel, rose gold. Pretty. Cobalt, even prettier. Steel, dark thread. Oh. This is crazy. Pig iron, rose gold. What are these different types? Okay, so now we have the broad axe. Broad tools. Broad tools are required use for tinker's anvil. Excavator, 3x3 area effect digging. Cleaver, strong weapon, slow swinging. Starts with severing 2. Long bow. There we go. Longer than a bow, but shorter than a long bow. A slower but more powerful bow. Designed for higher damage. A vein hammer. A sledgehammer. More abilities. General abilities. For the love of Pete, man. You can also melt like random loot armor to get the ingots out of it, like a gold chest plate will give you gold ingot. Yeah, that's. It looks like you could do that with the smaller smelter too, but whoa, bulk quiver allows your bow to store arrows. Interesting. Typically effective. Helmets can be controlled as protection. So, folks, it's too much to get through in 2 hours. Yet, I gotta say, Tinker's construct is incredibly complex, but incredibly interesting. And I'll say it again, right? I think you should spend some time with it, playing with it, like I did, and. I think your possibilities, the combinations are pretty much infinite. And so You can get as deep into this or not deep into this as you wish. It's all up to you. But I think that if you really do spend some time tinkering with the mod, you will, I think you're going to reap some pretty disproportionate rewards, right? I think it'll really pay off. And but I got to tell you, if you're doing this in a survival world, depending on how you feel about survival worlds and balance, this might be a bit OP unless you add some other elements to the survival world that make survival tougher, right? But if you were to just, have a vanilla world and throw just Tinker's Construct but by itself on there, you could probably be slaying the Ender Dragon and everything in the Nether within half an hour. So, yeah, it might be a bit much for that, but it's incredibly cool, incredibly fun, and really thought provoking. And like I said, there's add-ons for this. So the single mod is really like a kitchen sink mod onto itself. So I don't know what you would want to add on to it unless it's like compats with other mods and the materials they introduce. But holy smokes, this is a lot. I hope you got something out of this. I certainly did. This was fun. This will be available on video on demand. And so, if you want to come back to this later and look at something, you're absolutely free to do that, and encourage you to do that. And as far as I can tell, I only had one channel member on today. That was RJ. So RJ, thank you for being here and flying the flag. I appreciate you guys more than you can possibly know. And I appreciate everyone. Appreciate everyone who signed on, and especially for those of you who participated. Thank you for your interactions. That is what makes this venue or this format valuable. It's not just me yakking at you, but rather me yakking at you and you yakking back. And your yakking and my yakking is not just double the yakking, but yakking squared. We saw results that were interesting. They're really cool. So the next one will be in 2 weeks. I'll be sending out a poll soon to basically say, here's some ideas that I'm throwing out there, and see what folks are jonesing for. So when you see that poll, by all means, please participate. And if you got ideas, go ahead and add them to the comments now or after. I think this is pretty cool. And I do like exploring these mods, especially like this one, because it's a mod I hadn't really dealt with before. So it was an incredible learning experience for me. And, and I'm somewhat tempted to spin up a world just with Tinker's Construct in it, just to play with it. So with all that said, I will catch you around next time. But in the meantime, I hope this finds you and yours in good health, good spirits, and perhaps a touch of good fortune. Cheers.